drop a like and do share. Leave your comments and do not forget to subscribe for more videos.
Hello friends, this is Manoj Puplani. I welcome you all on behalf of the Edupedia world. In our last presentation, we have been discussing a few of the topics relating to liabilities of auditors. With this presentation, I'll be concluding this topic, this particular chapter, with the remaining topics. Fasten up your seatbelts. We're about to take off with the first topic of the day, and that will be outline the duties of auditors as laid down in S.N. Dasgupta's case. Now, there are some of the points which I have briefly illustrated over here itself, but before doing anything about these major 6 points, let's understand what did actually happen in S.N. Dasgupta's case and why it became one of the most eminent cases of all time. Have you ever gone for a bank audit in your case, guys? I do believe that enormous amount of opportunities while doing the bank audits. So, S.N. Dasgupta case was one such case wherein they were supposed to do the bank audit. He was appointed as an auditor. Okay. But unfortunately, it's been recommended and it's mandatorily said that you need to verify cash. Remember, your bosses, your principal also must have told you, okay, Mr. X, Mr. Y, whosoever, what your name is, just go and verify whether the cash which is available in the records is the same cash available physically in the premises or not. They must have told you up. Have you ever realized the kind of importance this particular thing does contain? It's absolutely important. Very, very, very important. Because that is something which went wrong in this S.N. Dasgupta's case. So what happened was, there is a bank which is Aryan Bank Limited. Okay. S.N. Dasgupta was one of the auditor of them. What they did was they resorted to some of the manipulation of accounts on an extensive kind of scale. Okay. The auditor was charged with negligence. What happened is, they resorted to something on behalf of the manipulation of records, primarily by not verifying the cash. And it was held that the auditor's lapse in not verifying the cash basically constitutes a failure to verify. This was a duty without which an audit is certainly meaningless, okay, which needs to be exercised. And it is just not excused by giving the information of omission to the shareholders. In a matter of cash, the auditor is not entitled to rely on the certificate of management of accepted integrity. You can't. If in case you wish to, still you need to verify the cash. It is extremely important, guys. Number one was this thing. And secondly, there was also some kind of embezzlement with respect to the loans and advances. So what happened is, the auditor basically inserted some of the cryptic remarks in their special report on loans and advances, which were not genuinely secured. And it was held that this person, S.N. Dasgupta, was careless and neglected of giving to the shareholders the information which it was a duty to give. So he went that particularly. So this is something which was held in S.N. Dasgupta's case, and it's a very famous case. So I wanted to briefly narrate you this particular incident so that you can get the kind of clarity as to what happened in that case and why we are studying this particular stuff. So that's the kind of foundation I wanted to give you up. Perfect, guys. Now got clear with the kind of S.N. Gupta's case. Now understand what is your duty as an auditor if in case this kind of committee which was set up for S.N. Dasgupta's case. All that you need to understand as far as your duty as an auditor is concerned. Number one is books. So you need to ascertain and report not only whether the balance sheet basically exhibits a true and fair state of affairs of the company as shown by the books of company, but also you need to check whether the books of the company themselves exhibit a true and fair state of the company's affair or not. If any matter has been kept out of the books which result with the fact that the auditor did not have an access to it, then in that particular case, he or she is not responsible for the non-disclosure to the shareholders. There are n number of things which are going on in the company. Okay. Certainly, you can't be expected to have a watchdog kind of an idea for each and every stuff which is going on in the company, since that same particular stuff is not just available in the balance sheet, the financial statements of the company. So this is something which was held that the auditor won't be held responsible for such kind of matters which are out of the books of accounts. Okay. He cannot be held responsible for that non-disclosure to the shareholders. Why? Because we are entrusted with the responsibility of providing our opinion that the true and fair view has been represented by the financial statements of the company. So that is something which we are supposed to do. We are not responsible for something which is beyond our eyes. That is something which is not present in the books of accounts or the financial statements. This was one of the duty that we need to check that particular stuff, that the books are completely proper or not, whether they provide us the complete details or not, and beyond something that's happening in the company beyond those books of accounts, you're not responsible for that. So these kind of guidelines have like clearly stated by the committee which was set up in SN Dasgupta's case. That is number one, books. Number two is substantial accuracy. So we need to verify the substantial accuracy and not merely the arithmetical accuracy of the statements of accounts by confirming that they include all the particulars requiring the disclosure by the Articles of Association, the Companies Act, or otherwise wherever the same thing is being present in the statute of direct verification. And it should be like they should represent the complete stuff which represents the true and fair state of the affairs of the company. So we need to go by the substantial accuracy and not merely by the arithmetical accuracy. Okay, if something has been like present and we are checking up merely the arithmetical accuracy, are we doing properly our kind of responsibility as an auditor? Absolutely not. We need to check whether the figures which have been like presented, these figures are actually genuine or not. So we are not just supposed to provide them the arithmetical accuracy, but we are supposed to provide them the substantial accuracy as well. Number three is the care and skill. So you need to check the accounts and verify the statements with reasonable care and skill. You are an auditor guy. You need to understand that thing. You need to place that reliance on management certificates only and only if in case representations basically appear to be honest and truthful. All the matters which are capable of direct verification should be verified directly. Cash is something which you just can't keep in the hands of management that they'll be providing you the written representation and you'll be relying on the same. No, you need to verify it if in case that can be directly verified. So you need to exercise due care and skill. Number four is suspicion cases. So if in case while examining the books of accounts and obtaining such information and explanations which you consider very much necessary, but not with a suspicious mind, or I should say by proceeding in a manner which you would adopt for detecting a fraud or a lie subject. So you can go with that case perfectly smooth. However, this is subject to the fact that you are not in possession of any of the information which is going to excite the suspicion, that is going to provide some of the unusual things. Okay, you need to vouch out that particular stuff, and which ought to like excite your suspicion of the professional man of reasonable competence. So if in case suspicion arises, you need to check, you need to double check those things. But if in case you are just obtaining the records which are mandatory to be obtained and you are keeping them up and you don't have any of the suspicion for that particular stuff and that doesn't excite your suspicion, so you can very well go with the same. Not a problem at all. All you need to do is just keep yourself aware with the kind of facts which is going on in the company. Number five is asset verification. So you need to verify, I'm saying this, you need to verify the existing of all the assets and liabilities. This is something which you can't just keep in the hands of management that they'll be providing you the written representation and you'll be relying on that. No, absolutely not. You need to verify each and every kind of asset which is available in the company. If in case there is some kind of liability which is going on with the contingent fact, okay. So now wherein the company is just not able to provide you the major evidences, though they are providing you with the relevant kind of information, okay, accept that up. But at the most, you need to try one thing, that you need to verify the existence of all the asset and liabilities at all intervals of time. Number six is proper reporting. So finally, after doing and ensuring about all these five things, you need to check out on the sixth point, that is the proper reporting. So you need to make a report to the shareholders, as that would give them the information and not merely the means of information, in order that the shareholders may judge the position of the company for themselves, whether we should invest in that company or not, whether they should provide any kind of debt if some debenture holders like being some kind of debentures have been like released by the company, whether they should provide the debt to that company in the form of being the debenture holders or not, whether they should be a part of that company. All these things they will be like able to judge if in case you as an auditor complete your duty honestly. So you need to provide a proper reporting for that matter. So these are your duties which you should complete as an auditor, and these are the same things which have been like laid down in SN Dasgupta's case. You need to check and you need to verify the books. You need to take care of substantial accuracy. You need to exercise due care and skill. And if in case you have some kind of suspicion going on in your mind, you should detect and dig down a deep further, and you need to check and verify all the kind of assets and liabilities, and after that, concluding all these things, you need to provide a proper reporting as an auditor. I hope I was able to provide you a great kind of understanding as to what happened in SN Dasgupta's case and what is expected out of you as an auditor. Shall we proceed further, guys? Perfect. Let's move towards the next topic. So the topic is, can an auditor escape the responsibility by stating in his report that certain audit procedures were not carried out by him? Again, this is something which happened in S.N. Dasgupta's case itself. So, do you think, guys, the auditor can escape the responsibility by just stating in his report that there are some of the audit procedures which were not carried out by him or her? Are they like having this kind of facility or this option? Absolutely not. Okay. So what happened was, the auditor like S.N. Gupta, Dasgupta, they basically indicated that they had not carried out certain procedures apparently to disown their responsibility, and it was held guilty for that particular stuff. So the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India, it completed one of the cases against them. So it was held guilty for the professional misconduct, and it was observed that the statement in the report that you have not carried out certain procedures suggested the nature of examination actually carried out by him, and that established the meaninglessness of the opinion itself. So you can't do that. Okay. So all you need to take care of this thing, these 3 points. Number 1, nature of audit examination. So the auditor may disclose the nature of audit examination in his report, including his or her reliance on the sample testing procedures. However, it does not reduce his or her responsibility to form an opinion on the financial statements based on sufficient appropriate audit evidence. So have this thing very much clear in your mind. Okay, it does not reduce your responsibility to form your opinion on the financial statements based on your sufficient and appropriate audit evidences. Number 1. Number 2, carrying out of all the audit procedures and forming an opinion on the FS. So the auditor is duty bound. Auditor is extremely duty bound to carry out all his audit procedures and form his opinion on the financial statements. He or she cannot escape his responsibility by obtaining management certificates or stating that certain audit procedures were not carried out. No, you can't. And number 3 is disclaimer of opinion, where auditor's work is restricted by the management. So what if where the auditor's work is basically restricted by the management? We all are aware of this fact that sometimes it happens that the management is basically restricting your work. Okay, it's hampering the kind of audit that you are doing, and they are not providing you the relevant documents that you want. So where if in case the auditor's work is restricted by the management or for any other reasons, he or she may disclose the same and give a disclaimer of opinion in appropriate cases. So you need to disclose the nature of audit examination in your report, and having said that, this doesn't merely reduce your responsibility to form an opinion. The auditor is duty bound to carry out all the procedures and form the opinion on the financial statements, and he just can't escape this responsibility. And if in case your work as an auditor is being restricted by the management or for any other reason, you need to disclose the same and give a disclaimer of opinion in appropriate cases. With this, I'll say thank you on behalf of the Edupedia world. Keep interacting via questions, queries in YouTube comment boxes. I will love to answer each one of queries and give answers, that's for sure. So stay connected. That will help us in understanding your needs way better, guys. Till then, see you all perfectly. Love you. Take care. I'll see you in the next presentation with some new exciting topics. Till then, keep loving yourself. Sayonara. God bless. Bye.